Global warming. That's the big one. That's the one they're trying to get celebrities to endorse. And it is the big one, I suppose. It's the end of the world, but it can bring brilliant weather to England. Serious point though, isn't it? How would you go to Bob in Yorkshire, who's had a lovely summer, he's playing cricket and barbecuing, and you go, it's all got to stop, Bob. All got to stop. You can't drive your car anymore. You can't use aerosols because you'll eventually stress out some Eskimo. He's not going to give a fuck, is he? Sorry, that's racist. Oh, sorry. I don't know what's come over me tonight. I'm really sorry. You can't say Eskimo anymore. They want to be called Inuits. So, I don't know who's complaining. You live in snow. Who's going, oh, Gervais called us what? Oh, my blood's boiling. Which is a good thing here. No. The first Eskimos, racist, Inuits, migrated from Asia across land masses that are no longer there, and they settled in the polar regions of northern Canada, Siberia, and Greenland. And when they got there, and the one in front went, this is all right, isn't it? Why didn't the one at the back go, what? Should we settle here? Forever? Are you serious? Yeah, why not? Because I'm fucking freezing. Let's keep walking, let's find a tree. Fucking hell. But the scariest statistic that I've heard about the erosion of this planet in recent years is that by 2030, there'll be no fish in the sea. According to a CNN report, best estimate, no fish by the year 2030. And I blame Comic Relief. Remember that stupid slogan they came up with? Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Give a man a fishing rod and he'll go fucking mental, won't he? Another one. Give me that. Give him a fish, greedy bastard. Comic Relief. Not a year goes by where Richard Curtis doesn't call me up and go, oh, Ricky, Africa's still the poorest place on the planet. It's riddled with AIDS and famine. It's war-torn. Would you like to go there? And no, it sounds fucking awful. You're really not selling it to me, Richard. Once he's called me and it wasn't about that. He offered me a part in The Vicar of Dibley. And I said, tell me about this Africa trip again. Oh, she started it. It's not a disease. When I first got famous, I knew that if I put myself in the office as opposed to just stayed behind the scenes, my life would change, but I wanted people to know it was an upshot of what I did. Fame wasn't the driving force, that the work was, and I didn't want to be lumped in with those celebrities that do anything to become famous. Do you know what I mean? And I was very prickly about the whole subject, and one of the first interviews I did after The Office broke in about 2001, the journalist really rubbed me up the wrong way with this question. She said, so what advice would you give to anyone else who wants to become famous? And I went, I'd tell them to go out and kill a prostitute. Which I thought was a really clever answer. She looked at me like I was mental. And I didn't do this bit in Ipswich. A local paper called me from Ipswich and she went, are you worried about offending people? I went, well, yeah, because it's not the point of what I do. And she went, no, but the joke's about the Ipswich murder. I went, it's not a joke about the Ipswich murder. That's a true anecdote. I really said that to a journalist, and it happened 6 years before the Ipswich murders, which ruined her angle a little bit. And she actually went, oh, did you hear about the Ipswich murders and that's what reminded you? Oh, no. It's nothing to do with murder, it's a slight on fame. It's like going, well, if you just want to become famous, do something horrendous. That was, and I explained it to her and she went, oh, well, thanks very much. So the next day, she went with the headline, Ricky Gervais apologises for sick joke. I thought, what are the rules? I've explained it to her, and she does these vox pops and this whole sort of string of Chinese whispers. Oh, that's racist. I'm so sorry about this. I don't know what's come over me. Suggesting that Chinese people can't whisper. Sorry about that. That would be a strange racial trait, wouldn't it? Bigots getting hold of that one, going, the trouble with the Chinese is They can't fucking whisper. What? They can't whisper. Of course they can. They can't. The Chinese cannot whisper. Watch this. Chang, whisper to me. Hello! Oh, for fuck's sake. Shouting hero must be racist. Come on. On the same day, The Sun published a picture of Jade Goody with the caption, racist scum. They published a picture of that Chinese snooker player with the caption, pot noodle. But when the journalist said to me, oh, what advice would you want to be famous? And I tend to go to prostitute. It's meaning, look, if you think that's all you care about, just being famous, you can do something terrible if that's the only aim. Serial killers want to become famous. The way it's going, where people do anything to be famous, I can imagine people at home now reading the paper going, this rapist is getting a lot of column inches. Do you know what I mean? Where will it end? Have you seen those adverts on telly for rape? Not adverts for rape, not... Starts 10 a.m, everyone must go. No, it's... It's two blokes, and one of them's bragging. He's going, yeah, got off with a lovely bird the other night. We was kissing and cuddling. Then it got a bit more serious, and I shoved her down onto the sofa, and he morphs, and he's in court. And the voiceover goes, if you don't get consent, you could go to prison for rape. What sort of society has to remind someone not to rape? Was there people going, just off out raping, mum? Oh no, remember? Remember the advert? What? You can't rape. I can't what? You can't rape. I can't what? Whose idea was that campaign? Going, we got to remind them. Was there people in court with the judge going, why did you rape her? I forgot. You'd forget your head if it wasn't screwed on. Get out of here, you scamp. Have you heard those local radio ads on a similar subject? It's a quiet street, sound of stiletto heels, and a car goes, and he goes, need a lift, darling. And the voiceover goes, if you want to know the price of an illegal minicab, just ask a rape victim. Don't. Worst advice I've ever had. That is... No, it really winds them up because it brings back terrible memories. So I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. I just burst into an incident room and went, how much to Hounslow? And she went, whoo. So really irresponsible advertising. Like that one, hit me at 30 miles an hour and there's an 80% chance I'll live. Encouraging gambling. But you're always in the paper if you're famous. It's never that bad. The last thing that annoyed me even slightly was The Sun called up and said, oh, we know what house you've bought. I went, yeah. I said, we're going to show pictures of it tomorrow. I said, why are you going to do that? And they went, well, we're going to be nice about it. And I thought, well, they could have just done it, but they've warned me and keep on side, and I've got a good relationship, I think. And I went, oh, okay. I said, but don't say where it is and don't say how much it is. So I did it the next day and went, it's in Hampton and it cost $2.5 million, which really annoyed me because it cost $3.5. And when you put in for planning permission, you put in, what, do a swimming pool, put that in, that's public record. No one told me, so it just appeared in 2 papers the next day, right? But even though they had the same little bit of information, they embellished in completely different ways, right? And the first paper went with, Gervais is in hot water with the neighbours, right? They fear my swimming pool's going to be so big that London's going to cave in, right? The second one went with Gervais is a splash with the neighbours. They love me. Right, and this is an example I have to sort of like fill column inches and sort of make... It's quite sweet, really. Gervais forked out more than $2 million for the house in September. He is said to want to settle down with his girlfriend of 20 years. That's settled enough, isn't it? Leaving the wild lifestyle behind him. Now, you're not to know this, but I am usually in my pyjamas by 6 p.m. I come home from work, the telly goes on, the pyjamas go on. Even if there's company, it's, you know what I mean? My house, my rules, pyjamas on. And if we've got, relatives around, Jane says, oh, not the ones with the holes in. That's all she asks. Do you know what I mean? You don't need your mother-in-law, when you bend over, it's like the last chicken in the window going, he's got a tumour. You know what I mean? It's just, no. But you don't want to throw them away. The pyjamas, they get nicer with age. They get soft, don't they? And they fit you just right. No one's going to see them. I actually invented a game with an old pair of pyjamas with a hole in them. No, you know when it gets sort of really thin and the guy said, then suddenly a little hole appears. You get like a quarter of an inch sort of hole. And when blokes are watching telly, we sort of doodle. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. It's sort of like a comfort thing. I think it's anthropological. I think chimps do it. Not on me, on them. No good to me. They haven't got opposable thumbs or anything, so I've never tried to get a chimp to wank me off, so let's nip that one in the bud. And I discovered, right, that if I pulled out miscellaneous bits of skin, right, it could be a bit of scrotal sac, could be a hint of foreskin. You only put it out half an inch, you've got to guess which, it's called offal Jim Jam. No. And you just pull it out, just half an inch, right? And you turn to your girlfriend and you go, offal Jim Jam, cock or ball? It might be genius. I'm thinking of selling that to Waddingtons. If only for the picture on the box of all the family. Grandad doing that, little cock or ball. Granny going... Actually, Grandad could really pull it out, couldn't he? Shut up, you'll be playing it at home. Offal Jim Jam, cock or ball. But the trouble about rumour is, if it's written down, someone will believe it. You could have the most far-fetched, made-up, impossible, illogical bollocks. And if it's in print, someone will believe it. Just look at the Bible. Old Testament. Oh, that's my favourite. That is a rip-roaring read, the Old Testament. It's brilliant. I like the God in that one. He's a better God. New Testament God, he's a bit wishy-washy. He's a bit modern parent. Do you know what I mean? He's a bit liberal. Oh, turn the other cheek. No, Old Testament God, he's like 50s dad. He takes his bout off and goes, you fucking what? Oh, you know the fucking rules. I've told you. You wound me right up, you muppet. Fucking floods. You, pestilence, fuck off. You, what did you do? That's not too bad. M.E. I've been an atheist since I was about 8 or 9, and when I went to secondary school, by then I knew about natural selection, the Big Bang Theory, carbon dating, and the Earth was 4 billion years old, and so my poor RE teacher, I was the bane of his life. And looking back, he was a bit thick, right? He was one of those teachers I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll just keep my head down. You know what I mean? He came in on a motorbike and played table tennis all day with the div kids just to keep, you know what I mean? You know the sort, don't you? And he hated me. He hated me because I was smart and I wouldn't let him get away with any bollocks, right? So when he said things like, and God made the heaven and the earth in 6 days, and the earth is 5,000 years old. No, it isn't. No. It's 4 billion years old. Why? How could he do that? God can do anything. Well, why did he do it in 6? Why did he do it in 5? Let's push him a little bit. And he was saying that everything that happens, God does. He's done everything. Everything that happens, he means to happen. He's on top of it. He's everywhere, and everything he does is good. And I went, well, that's clearly not true either. Why are newborn babies taken from their parents? They're innocent. Why are some people born into abject poverty? And he went, because God moves in mysterious ways. That is the theological equivalent of going, look over there. Ooh. It's not an answer, is it? We swear on the Bible in a court of law, still. And if the judge was to say to you, how do you account for the fact you say you're home asleep at midnight, but we found your DNA at the scene of the crime? And you went, I move in mysterious ways. Good night, it won't wash. This is how stupid this teacher was. A kid asked him, he said, sir, why do we swear on the Bible in a court of law? Clearly, the answer is, if you believe in God, if that's your God, you believe in him, you believe he's watching you, you get a guilt trip, you don't lie. He hadn't worked that out. So thinking on his feet, he said, because every law of the land is mentioned in the Bible. I went, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. He went, no, it is. Somewhere in the Bible, every law of this land is mentioned. I went, what, even video piracy, you fucking... One critic, who I know is religious, said, oh, Gervais deconstructs the Bible. That's too easy. I'm thinking, well, it shouldn't be. If you believe in that, you think it's a serious doctrine, it shouldn't be too easy to deconstruct. You can't do it with a maths book. You can't look through them and go, listen to this. Listen to go, oh. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. What cunt wrote that? He said that God is everywhere and in everything. He's solidly through the universe. And I came prepared. I thought, this'll end it. I came in like a little smart ass and went, sir, is God in a vacuum which has been scientifically proved to have nothing in it? He went, yep. That's it. I thought, well, I can't win then. So I started saying, is he up my arse? Is he up your arse? The clever stuff hadn't worked. I was going, sir, is God up all our arses? Including Richard Gere's. It must be crowded up there, mustn't it? The New Testament is founded on the belief that Jesus is half man, half God, born of a virgin womb. And I think that particular little rumour came about with Mary on the back foot. Awkward questions about the old pregnancy from Joseph.